For the first 20 years or so of the internet, we were locked into the handful of web fonts that we could use that were safe to use on the internet. That's because that renders on the client side rather than the server side. And now, thanks to CSS3, we have the capability to add some more excitement in our font choices. One way is to use a font host, and I show that in another video, using Google Fonts. And now I'm going to show you how to host those fonts yourself. So here I'm going to start in my browser, and I'm going to use the same example. I have a site for Disco Stew, and in the body we're going to go ahead and add our H1 of Disco Stew. And then because semantically an H1 belongs in a header, I'm going to go ahead and add that as well. And I'm just going to cut and paste that under my H1 just for semantics and keeping it all in line, nice and neat there. All right, so I have my HTML. I'm going to go ahead and save that. It has a title, and at this point only has the H1 of Disco Stew. Now I'm going to go and jump into this style, and I want to upload my own font and connect and host it there on my own files. And I can actually do that from Google Fonts as well. So I'm going to go back to Google Fonts and show you that font we were working on before. Now, when we had Google host it, we went ahead and copied this link tag, but instead of letting Google host it, we're going to take some control and host it ourselves. And that's why we're going to click the download family button. That downloads that zip file, and if you open it, you can see inside you've got the font and the font name, montanregular.ttf. It's a true type font. There are different font file formats, and you'll want to make sure that you are using the one that would be correct for your browser, for your user. We're going to upload this one today and take a look at it, but the process would be the same, uploading any other file format. All right, so I'm going to add that to my file space, and that's what I'm going to upload to my web server. So let's go back into my coding document, and I'm going to go ahead and use the property of @fontface. I'm going to spell it right though. @fontface, and this is going to reference that font that we want. So we're going to start with font family, and we're going to give that font family a name. We can give it whatever name we want. So we know that our font's name is Monotone, but I just want to call it Disco. So I'm going to call it that. So I'm telling the rule right now, the declaration, that I want to call this font family that I'm about to give you Disco. The next thing I want to do is add the source of that file, right? The src. And so I'll go ahead and add the value of URL and then parentheses. And in parentheses, I'm going to browse for that file. And there it is right there. I've added in my directory a fonts folder so that it will contain all of the fonts that I might upload to my site, just like you would with your image folder. In fact, this whole process is extremely similar to uploading images. You'll have its own folder that contains all of the images, in this case all of the fonts, and you'll connect to them there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. And so I have my path. My source for my new font is here, the pathway, monotone-regular.ttf, but I want to call it Disco. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, now that I have referenced it, I can go ahead and call it. So I have an H1. I have a simple element selector here, and I'm going to give that H1 the font family of Disco. And I'm always going to do a font stack because that's a good idea. And I'm going to follow it up with cursive just because it's distinctive and we'll know for sure that it's working or not working. And I'll go ahead and save that document. Now I need to upload all of that to my server. So you can see here in my local files, I have disco-stew-style.css. That's the document we're looking at here. Then I have disco-stew.html. That's my HTML document. Then I have that folder that I've called fonts, and inside it I have that font file that we're looking for. And so I'm going to go ahead and select all of these, and then I'm going to upload them to my server space. And now you might be wondering, how did you do that? How did you connect your editor right to ASU's web space? Well, that's a sneak peek on what we're doing in Module 2, so look forward to that. So now what I want to do is go check to make sure that that's online. So I'll switch back to a browser, and I'll type in my domain, which is www.public.asu.edu/tilde, and then followed by your ASU right, which is CCARRA for me. And then I'll do a / and disco-stew.html. And there it is, Disco Stew in all its glory, happening here on my website.